We are live. Woohoo!
Woo!
Welcome, everybody, to the B2B Live Lounge. Whoa, it's so good to be back. I had a week off and I'm back, and I have got the most amazing guest today, folks. You are going to love today's show because it's going to be awesome. I would like to introduce you to the B2B Live Lounge stage, Gabe Leal. Hello.
Hello. First of all, it is an honor to be here. I jumped at the opportunity when you asked. I've watched a couple of these episodes, and I said, well, if I'm going to get to be a guest, then the answer has to be yes. I mean, I can't turn this down. These are always great conversations.
Thank you so much, Gabe. Thank you. And I do have to point out your disco. You've got your disco lights with you today.
I did. I try to have a little bit of ambiance back here, and I have a little bit of backlight back there. Not too bright. I need to turn it up. But my camera, this is Gabe. So this is what you get when you come and bring me to your audience, is that you don't exactly know what it is. It's the fun, it's the instability, it's just life in general. So well, I'm just gonna roll with it today.
Brilliant. For those of you watching the podcast, listening to the podcast, not watching the live, you will see. I will tell you that Gabe has a kind of neon blue kind of flashing light across the top of his screen, which is, I think it's quite cool. I rather like it.
Thank you. Maybe I should do it for more often. Just stand out from everybody else. Like, it might drive other people mad, but I'm like, you know what? It's just part of what I do.
I love it. I'm a bit jealous, actually. I feel very boring, and
Oh no, please! You're anything but. Like, I that is one thing that I will say about you, Sarah, and just briefly, your aesthetic and the way that you do your branding and the colors, they just speak to who you are. You see them, it's almost instant recognition, and go, okay, I know who that is. Like, I love it. I love it though. I love the schemes that you do and everything. I mean, that's kind of like a draw. It's like for me looking at a moth. It's like a moth to a flame. You just go, I'm drawn to the color. I have to go look.
Oh, thank you, Gabe. That's really kind of you. I'm going to take a pause, and we have the amazing Kevin. I have to say it. I can't say it in an English accent. Kevin D. Turner in the house. Hello, Kevin D. Turner. How are you? Lovely to see you. Oh, Jeff Young has just joined us too. We are honored. Yes.
Namaste, right?
Yeah, namaste indeed. Let's have some comments coming up, because that's really nice to see. So
yeah, Kevin is wonderful. I just got to say real quick.
Yeah,
I love the man. He's very much like myself. When he gets involved, and he's all over LinkedIn, and he's just there. Like, he brings so much like value, and like, man, I don't know how he has the time to scope everything and collect that information, but that's just how Kevin's mind works. I love it.
It's incredible, and all his updates and things that we hear about on LinkedIn via Kevin and Jeff, both former guests on the B2B Live Lounge. Jeff Young is just amazing and wonderful. Still need to buy your book, Jeff. I will be doing that because I'm very excited.
I always look. I always have to owe Jeff something. So like, I do a daily guide of like all the live streams on LinkedIn. I've been doing this now for the past month. Jeff was the one that I was watching another stream of. I forgot. I think he was on with Jillian Whitney. Anyway,
right.
He was on with Jillian, and they were talking about it. And they were talking about LinkedIn newsletters, and the idea came together. What I was doing, because I was creating more like a image of carousels, and I decided that I could use the newsletter as a way to build this out. And had I not watched that episode and watched Jeff share that information, I still might be doing it the longer, tedious way. So thank you, Jeff, always.
Oh, two amazing LinkedIn people.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of LinkedIn. It's the people that you meet, isn't it? But
yeah.
We didn't meet on LinkedIn, I don't think.
No, actually, we did
on Clubhouse.
Yes, we did.
We did, didn't we? And then we've carried on meeting on LinkedIn, which is the beauty of LinkedIn. Oh, quickly have to give a shout out to somebody else has joined us, John Esperian. Hello, John, in the house.
Yes.
Yay. You're all LinkedIn legends, all of you, John. You as well. Amazing.
Yeah. And, I will say I love what even John has done. He's taken the idea of community and he went and built out his own community off site. And he has so many people that follow and, listen in and just it's amazing what the power of community and relationships and what we're talking about in business to business sales, right? It's all about building the right kind of relationships with clients, with people, just with individuals. And if you've ever done any kind of consultations or any kind of sales, it's all about in the wording and how you build trust and relationship with people. And that's kind of what LinkedIn has kind of brought out in not just in myself, but the other people that I connect with. I go, wow, it's the ability to have these kind of open, vulnerable conversations with people that I love. Why I spend most of my time here and not on other social media platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Well, I always say that LinkedIn isn't social media, it's networking and community. And that's what
Yeah,
it is.
it is.
So,
Well, times 10.
yes, absolutely.
It is that times 10. And I like the ability for me to be able to meet new people and have conversations like with you and me, Sarah. Like, if this was real life, if we had never met at an in-person networking event, I wouldn't know of your existence. But because of this platform and you are over across the pond, we're now able to have these conversations and talk about these things and talking about our commonalities, our differences, the things that we can learn from each other. I mean, this is the power of what being on this kind of networking platform offers, that I find is different and unique from other social media. That's why I said
Absolutely.
this is the best
Yeah.
part about it. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's brilliant.
it is, and I will tell you that in my own experiences, being that I've spent time on multiple social media platforms. I keep coming back here because of this.
Yeah,
Like, there's
love
nothing
that.
like it.
No, I agree. There is nothing like it. And yeah, so I had a meeting this morning with somebody who wants to work with me, and they said, "Do you do other social media platforms as well as LinkedIn?" I said, "Well, yeah, I kind of do as a secondary, but really, if you want to meet people, if you want to, really get some more business, this is the place. LinkedIn for sure."
Yeah, just imagine having your local, like, chamber of commerce or your local network of business associations coming together. It's here. Like, they come searching for this, so
Yeah,
it's already here. They've having just being on this platform is half the work. The other half, of course, is just talking to people and having the conversations and knowing which ones actually will open up opportunity. That's why I love coming here all the time, because it spurs opportunity all the time. I see it all the time from not just myself, but other creators. And I go,
yeah.
wow, they met because they were on LinkedIn.
It's very true. Yeah, it's amazing the amount of people you can meet and the quality of the connections that you can build here.
Yeah.
It's like nowhere else.
I mean, I've literally, I'm about to become a second time published author. I would have
Woo!
never had those opportunities if not for the people that I met on LinkedIn. Like,
Yeah,
I promise you, I wouldn't have run into those opportunities had it not been there. And then people reaching out and asking, and me just saying, yeah, I would love the opportunity to do this. It,
yeah,
it's it's amazing what you can do simply by networking and doing what we all love and what we're built to do as humans, and that's have relation and fellowship. It happens here.
it really does. It really, really does. And I've collaborated with different people who I've met on LinkedIn and never met in person. And we've worked together. We've shared clients, we've shared projects, just because of meeting here. The limits are just endless. It's wonderful.
It is. And especially for anyone who wants to get into their sphere of their field of business, or if they're chasing entrepreneurship, solopreneurship, if they're coming into this is the place to come. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for branding, marketing, B2B, B2C, if you're looking for any kind of way to look down clients, this is probably the easiest way to find lead generation, and just for you to be able to say, okay, I have at least a door open that I probably wouldn't have had I been on another social media place, or if I met it at maybe a networking event. These things don't always work out because you're talking about tons of people, but on LinkedIn, you minimize your time simply by having direct conversations and direct messages with people that are at their leisure. So you leave a message with somebody and they get back to you. Where if you're at a seminar and you only have 1 hour to mingle around, if you don't have that conversation with that person, it doesn't happen. So this is why
Yeah.
I tell people, come here all the time, and to find, if you're looking to build your branding, I mean, how many experts and people do you know that could lead you into the right direction, sir? I mean, just coaching, throw a nickel out at the LinkedIn sphere and you'll find somebody that's going to be able to help you.
Most definitely. And if you go to the search bar on LinkedIn, let's say you're looking for, I don't know, a copywriter for something, type in copywriter in your first degree connections, and I bet you there's at least a handful that you hadn't even thought about. You hadn't even, you hadn't remembered them. Maybe you've met them ages ago, but they're there. And it's so easy then to reach out to them and say, hi, let's have a chat.
Yeah. I mean, that's simple. I mean, I went to a local event here where I live at, and I met somebody and we just had a brief interaction. It was probably like maybe 5-10 minutes. Um, but we exchanged a little bit of information, and then we came on LinkedIn, and I didn't know she was on LinkedIn. She didn't know I was on LinkedIn. We started just chatting, and then all of a sudden, like, she's like, "Oh my god, I didn't even know you were this type of creator. I didn't know," and I didn't know she was like this connected as well. And it's like, well, this is what happens when you come here and start talking to people. I mean, we're having a conversation later this afternoon, just between the two of us, but it would, again, that wouldn't happen. I wouldn't had the time at that. I was at an in-person event. I wouldn't have had that time to peg down that conversation. It happened, and I was able to do it because I was here on the LinkedIn platform.
Yeah.
So it's what I love about coming here and being able to share my knowledge, and then learning a wealth of information and experience and wisdom from other people like John and Kevin and Jeff, and the people that come here, and they're passionate about what it is they talk about, and you learn from them. I mean, this is the way that we're passing down knowledge and information, and this is how we continue to learn, because people here all the time. And exactly like I met Michelle here. She's finding her place here on the LinkedIn sphere because she is understanding and learning how to network, how to talk to people, how to start using what she has to build her branding and everything else. I mean, this is what it means to come here and fully immerse yourself in what it is to become ultimately, if your dream is to become an entrepreneur, how to do it. I mean, these people here, they have seminars and webinars, and all this stuff is free. This is what I'm trying to. It's
Yeah.
not that some of them might be paid, or they might have a registration you might have to do, but this is free knowledge. This is free
Yeah.
information that people are just giving out.
There's so much. You could spend all day on LinkedIn hopping from live to webinar to another live to an audio room, and you can learn and learn and learn all day. It's incredible. There's so much. Talking of which, that was a good segue. There are so many live events now on LinkedIn. And Gabe, you have taken it upon yourself to be what, I don't know if you would understand this. Us Brits would definitely understand it. To be the TV Times of LinkedIn. Do you know what the TV Times is?
Yes.
Listing.
So
Yeah.
it was the same thing we had in America. It was
Oh, okay.
it was their way. We would call it a TV guide though. So
Yeah.
it was the same sort of principle. And yeah, it was something I felt that needed to be built because I didn't see what I wanted. Like like just looking at looking for a TV listing in the book, you might find something that you're interested in. You go because you got to coordinate it also with your schedule, right? So if like, hey, I'm going to give myself an hour to listen or watch or whatever, and you would go in there and look and say, oh, I love this show, I'm gonna start following it or whatever, and you could build your schedule around the time and what interests you, and you would go watch. I mean, it was pretty simple. I
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't have this here.
So you
Um,
created it.
so, yeah. So if you don't see what you want, what do you go do? You go create it. You go build the things that you want to see, and you feel that need not only for yourself, but then you start learning that it fills the need for others. And this is what I love about it. It starts breeding community, and it starts breeding collaboration. I've seen
Yeah.
it happen time and time again because then you start seeing that there's people in other parts of the world and in different time zones that don't know that these other individuals exist, and they come here and they go, oh my god, we got the same similarities, let's talk, we could do something. I love it when I see collaborations happen because then I tell myself it's working. This is what it is. This is the networking that we so always desperately seek. And this is just a way to bring that to somebody in a simple touch or a simple form of a newsletter that you get every day, and you don't have to do anything but just look at it.
Brilliant. Yes, I love that. And there are so many different ways that we can access
Oh.
content on LinkedIn. And obviously, live is just one of those.
Mhm.
And I'd love to know, obviously, you've chosen to be the TV Times of LinkedIn, which is brilliant. So live events is obviously your thing, something you're very passionate about. What is it about live events that is so special?
So what we're doing now is why it's special, because the people that are watching or the people in the audio rooms that go when they start happening, they have the opportunity to come and ask questions or to present, their thoughts or their experiences themselves of what they might be going through. And it also gives them the ability to maybe just listen in and go, I don't want to talk, I don't want to interact, but once everything's over, they reach out to the host or to a guest or somebody, and they say, thank you for sharing that, it's very much aligns with my story or experiences that I've had. And it instantly builds a connection that could mature into something more or to help that individual or the guest. Just it's what I love is it brings people together to talk, to participate. um
Mm,
my thing is, you can watch a video and just take information in, but sometimes it's also a great way that people are more maybe hands-on learners, and they want to experience it and they want to listen and they want to ask questions because their curiosity is piqued because something that has been shared or something that has been said that they go, okay, I need to know more about this. This is what these events do. They build an opportunity for people to ask the questions, to pique their curiosities, to learn the information, to even find themselves sometimes immersing themselves into a cause or into a purpose. This is why I it's the same thing when you see a speaker or something and they're they're electric and you want to have that conversation with them. This is the direct access here. You get direct access to experts.
yeah.
You get direct access to people that have maybe you might not have the connection, but they might have the connection, and simply by having a conversation with them here on a live, they might say, "Hey, so and so, reach out to me. Let's talk." I mean, you
Yeah,
can't get this anywhere else.
it's amazing, isn't it? Really amazing. So here's a question. Okay, so let's say we've got a bigger company. How would you say they could make the best of live events?
Oh
Would you
gosh.
use the company page? Would you use the
So
personal profiles?
so I think you, in terms of, if you're speaking as a representative of the company, yeah, I would go down the company route.
Hmm.
Um, because sometimes people have their own personalities apart from there, and then maybe they're not totally aligned with their business page or their company or their corporation, and they might use their branding and something else on LinkedIn for another purpose. But if they're speaking there for part of their corporation and they need something to share, I would use your company page simply as a tool to be able to reach out to the targeted employees or individuals that need to hear that information. Not everybody wants to learn, let's just say, about artificial intelligence or how to do cybersecurity. That's a select field that maybe these only particular individuals that work for this company would find interest in. Not everybody's going to. So it doesn't need to go out to every single person on the platform. You want to kind of target it, um, to your certain sect, and doing it through your company page. Most of those people are there by invite only. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to invite people through, and most of them, if they're employees or people that work in there or they're in your related field, yeah, they're probably going to find interest in what you're sharing. Um, maybe if you do it on your profile, and maybe you do have more people, but if 75% of those people don't care about cybersecurity, then it's just going to fall on deaf ears. I would rather have a better retention. I would have a better rate of return simply by doing it through my company page as opposed to my personal profile.
Profile. And there are other advantages as well, of course, to going live from a company page, in terms of what you can do with the information that you get, etc. And of course, you can always promote it on your personal profile. In it,
Yes.
yeah.
It is
So
just another way. Yeah.
it's a win-win all round. And they are. I do think live events are, as they're a really good way to bring your audience closer, aren't they? Because people hear you, they know what you sound like, they can ask you questions directly, and all of those things just help the community and the relationship build.
Yeah. I mean, and it gives you, again, it gives you another way of connecting with that person who might be tuning in and watching.
Yeah.
I'm an auditory and visual learner. So I'm not so much about reading. I do enjoy reading, but I'm not so much about reading the text or reading documents. But yet, if there were somebody there looking at me, talking and looking into a camera and sharing with me that information, I'm probably going to soak it in a lot better than I would if I had to do it. I mean, could you imagine, Sarah, if there was somebody here that had a really great presence and could talk and created a video that talked about, say, LinkedIn's terms of service, right? You might be more
Yeah.
inclined to watch it than to say, "Oh, here's the link. Go read the, hour long write up of all the terms of service that you have to follow and everything else." Where if you said, "Hey, watch this video real quick. It explains our terms of service really quickly," and you can go through and put it into 10, 20 mini videos to watch, and you literally take your time learning it in and watching it. But I don't think people look at it in those terms of saying, okay, here it is. We just want to sign the line that says, yes, we confirm and acknowledge everything that we agree with and go forward. Whereas, in terms of using it as in a video and directly communicating it with somebody, I'm just going to use an actor. Let's just say Helen Mirren was sitting there reading LinkedIn's terms of service. I'm going to watch that. Like, I'm
You're
going to
right.
watch this. I'm going to be like, okay, I get it now. I understand LinkedIn.
I
Thank
tell you
you.
what that reminds me of. And tell you what that reminds me of. And I'm just trying to remember his name. The American guy who sang the periodic table. And there's lithium and iridium and diddle, 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 diddle. Do you know the one?
Yes, I think I
John
can't remember.
Lehrer. John Lehrer. And it was brilliant. And I actually learned some of the periodic table because he was singing it. But if you look at it, it's this just block of numbers
Numbers
So
and letters, and I don't make
I
sense
think
of that.
I think we need to get in touch with Helen Mirren and ask her if she'd do that.
Say, hey, Helen, listen, I'm with LinkedIn. Would you be interested in reading our terms of service? We'll just, we'll pay you this amount and you just read it. And I mean, come on. I think people there's a reason that people are more drawn to watching videos and listening to things that people say because of it. I mean, there's other social media platforms that it's builder that people go on and build large audiences because they're simply talking and on live video and they're just sharing what it is that they're passionate about. It's the
Yeah.
same thing here. We're using it for business. We're just taking the same concepts and say, okay, how can we build simply by doing the same thing and build our audiences, and it lends credibility and authority to who you are as an individual as well. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're coming on here every day and you're talking about, let's just say, for example, I know a guy who's talking about franchising. He does live shows, and that's what he's talking about. He's going to build an authority in that field that people are going to go, well, he's the guy to go to when it comes to talking about franchising and how franchise development, business development has to do with that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
simply said, let me build my niche by doing this right here. It gets you the presence, and it finds the audience that it needs to. So this is why I love it.
And the other thing, of course, is that the wonderful thing about lives is that they sit on your profile under your videos tab. So people can go and watch them anytime they like. And that's so cool.
Yes.
So cool.
I mean, this is why I went into talking about, for example, for me, it was love. I've always been fascinated with the topic of love. I found love last year. I got engaged. It was something that I needed to find for me. So as I went through the struggles and the triumphs and finding what it was that I needed in my life, I figured there are other people that are out there. So I decided, and me and my fiance, we started a business to help those people heal from their past relationships and then prepare them for what it is to hop back into the world of online dating, and or even just refreshing and um, foundational stuff for your current relationship or your marriage. I mean, these are things that people sometimes have a hard time dealing with, and this is and this is critical to our nature of having love in our life. I mean, they're not just love with a partner, but we decided to go in and do self-love and family love and all this stuff because she's getting her master's in sociology, and she's already got her bachelor's in psychology, and she's working toward getting her doctorate as well. And this is just something we wanted to do to help other people because we found it difficult for us as older people getting back into this kind of, because I had been in a 24-year marriage and I got out of it. And when I found myself trying to get back into like love and dating and everything else, it was it was the biggest shock to the system because it's changed so much, Sarah.
Oh yes, yeah, I can imagine. And you're sore from your previous, even if it was your decision to end the relationship, it still hurts. It's still raw and sore. And I can imagine it must be really hard to put yourself through that vulnerability again.
Look, you just spoke to the thing that so many people have a hard time with. And that's the one thing they probably need more than anything, is how to put yourself out there again and allow yourself to be vulnerable after you've already been hurt.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to say, okay, I got hurt and I don't want to have to feel that pain again. But then if you don't allow yourself to feel that pain and stuff again, you're not going to also feel the elation and joy that comes with finding love again.
Yeah.
So,
It's a
so
vicious circle, isn't it? Yeah.
yes.
Well,
Oh my
well
God.
done, and I'm so happy for you, Gabe, to see that. And when you changed your profile and everything, it was like, "Whoa, how exciting!" And that's another thing that I love about LinkedIn is that it's so easy to change things and move things around. So if you decide, right, I really believe in this thing and I want to talk about this thing, whatever it is, and even if it's only for a short time, we can just change our profiles and change everything. It's so easy to do that, and that's one of the things I
Uh,
love about LinkedIn is that we have that control.
I mean, even the guy you had on, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry, but the last guest that you had on, when he was talking about this, like your profile and how to build it out and
Yeah,
everything else, it's the way that you can rebrand yourself.
yeah,
Um, it's
absolutely.
it's the way that you can build yourself out and say, okay, I'm not always going to be this person. I grow. And as I grow, maybe my brand needs to grow, or maybe my, um, maybe my verbiage needs to change. Maybe I need to do something that aligns with who I am and not what I was.
Yeah.
So I know that people do it all the time. And guess what, folks? This is what I love about LinkedIn. There are also experts here that can help you rebrand. Go.
It's hundreds of them, and they all do it in a different way, and they're all brilliant. And it is brilliant that we can do that. When I realized that actually employee advocacy was the thing that I wanted to focus on, and because I actually believe it's so amazing, I think it's such an amazing tool. I just changed my banner and moved my, about section around a bit and shifted things. My website, on the other hand, please don't go and look, because it's still stuck where it was, because I need to get a designer, I need to get change of coding and all of those different complicated things. And I know I need to do it, and I've started the process, but it just takes so long. Whereas LinkedIn, we can go to our profiles and we can change what we like in an instant. And
Yeah.
it's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. You can just, like I said, you could, the way I see it in business, like sometimes when a new business opens, they'll have what they call a soft launch, and they have people come in and then look at everything, and then before they do their grand opening or their hard launch, their hard launch, they'll make all the changes and things that they need to change. Same thing with your profile. If you go through and you rebrand yourself and you say, okay, these things need to change, I can go back to this, and then boom, once you allow yourself to say, okay, I'm ready for everything, you relaunch, you rebrand, and then you start doing things like you could have these kinds of shows and conversations, and you can create lives and audio events. You can write. That's what I love about LinkedIn. You could write a newsletter about it, change the things that you want to do, articles, the way you post. It just is easy
Yeah.
to become what you're meant to be simply by saying, I want to start talking about this now,
Yeah. Yeah.
or this is
Uh,
who I am.
exactly. And we have Jason Perry. Thank you, Jason. It's a great point. Things can be changed on a platform in the blink of an eye. You're absolutely right. Gabe, we're out of time.
God,
What happens? This is what
I don't.
happens on this show. I've just disappeared. How?
How weird.
No,
You did
hang
your
on. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. This is very
I mean, we can do
random.
this too. I mean, I have a avatar on mine though.
This is very strange. I have disappeared, guys. You see, this is the wonderful thing about live is, oh my gosh, we've all disappeared. You've just, how I see
I
you.
mean,
What on earth? I have no idea what's going on.
Sarah, look, this is why I love live streaming,
Yeah, this is
because you
great.
never know what you're gonna get, and it's the expectation. This is why people love sporting events. You don't know what's gonna happen, even to the last moment.
Yeah.
Some of the best soccer matches or football matches you've ever seen came down to the last second, and it was just a flip of a coin of what was going to be the result. Same thing here. Love live streaming.
This is so funny. So my camera, for those people listening, not watching, has just decided to stop working. So I'm still here. I hope you can hear me okay. And I'm playing around in my settings backstage, and there ain't nothing going on here, folks.
So look, Sarah, I'm gonna walk you through something. See the little 3 dots right there by your name?
No, I know, I know that.
Okay, so you can actually just upload your avatar or your little logo. That way, if you wanted to put it in there, people are like, "Oh, look, she's still on brand, even though she's not on camera."
So let me try and do that. Oh, edit. Then this is.
So yeah, so if people don't know who it is, I do have an image of Brian Schulman, my good friend. He's always my backup. So if you never see me on camera, this is what you're gonna see. So
Okay, I'm back.
She's back.
I don't know what happened. That was very strange. Okay, so yes, so you've surprised everybody by showing us Brian Schulman. Thank you very much for that. Gabe, we love that. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up with the final question, which I ask every single one of my guests who comes on the B2B Live Lounge. Can you give 3 tips for our audience to take away and action today?
Yes. I say it in one single sentence, but I can spread them out as 3 tips. So my single sentence is I usually say, if you live, love, and serve like no one else, you will absolutely change the world around you. So if you live your life like no one else, to the extreme, to the fullest of every single day, if you love with all your heart, give of yourself compassionately, empathetically, with kindness, and if you serve others by giving of your time, of your patience, you're going to change everything around you in your world and the world of those other people that you connect with. I always say that every single time. That it is how I choose to live my life. People go, how do you do this? How do you give for this? How do you create these things? It's not just a mantra. It is my belief in how I have to live, because it is going to speak of me when I am no longer here. And I have to remember those things.
Gabe, that's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you, Gabe Leal, for being on the B2B Live Lounge today. Next week, we have Richard Vanderblom is coming on as my guest.
Ooh,
I'm a little bit excited. I'm a little bit excited to have my friend Richard on. So
you got to ask him all the analytical questions, because I love it when he shares all the analytics and stuff that he gets from LinkedIn. I'm like, ooh.
Absolutely. Gabe, your 3 tips are amazing. I will do something with those at some point, but that's to be revealed. But yeah. But thank you, Gabe Leal, for being on my show. Where can we find you?
Oh, of course, you can find me on LinkedIn more than anywhere. If you're not connected with me here, but I am across all the socials. On TikTok, my TikTok handles I love Gabe Leal, because I do love me. So if you want to follow me, I'm there on TikTok. I'm on YouTube at the Gabe Leal Experience. You can go follow, see all my past live streams and episodes and things that I've created, conversations that I've had. Facebook. Where else could I possibly? Instagram. You name it. And they're all the same. Like, I try to build them unilaterally, so that people go look for me, they'll see my branding here, my red, my black, I kind of stick to those colors. Except when I'm with my partner, then I go into all full pink. So I'm a pink guy too, and I love pink.
Pink's great. Pink's a great color. It's a happy color.
It is.
Gabe,
I love it.
Thank you so much for being on the B2B Live Lounge today. Really, really appreciate you being here. I'm going to play us out with my little song, and we can have a dance. Your disco lights have disappeared, but
they're here. They're still there.
Oh, they're still there. Okay. See you later.